Folklore has given us a healthy taste of these remarkable animals. Foxes are depicted as cunning animals, symbolizing strategic thinking and craftiness. But how well do you know foxes? Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to continue receiving great content like this one. Foxes are part of the Canidae family, commonly known as the dog family. They are smaller compared to other canids such as wolves, bears, and jackals, but can be just as deadly. Stories abound in folklore about these amazing creatures such as Aesop's fables, the nine-tailed fox in Asian stories, and North American folklore. Thus, it is easy to feel you know much about foxes, but there is a lot you do not know. Here are some interesting and fun facts about foxes. 1. Foxes can make 40 different sounds. Gekkering is the most common sound attributed to foxes. It is a series of guttural chattering that foxes often make when fighting. However, there are a host of other sounds foxes can produce, such as the vixen's scream, the alarm bark, the fox cry, the fox howl. The fox howl sounds like a woman's scream, which makes it an eerie sound in the wild. In medieval times, witches were seen as the culprit and the sound was thought to be evil. 2. Foxes have a lot in common with cats. Despite being from a dog family, foxes have much in common with cats. They have vertically oriented pupils, which lets them see in dim light and makes them nocturnal animals like cats. In comparison, wolves hunt during the day and lack such vision. Foxes and cats have similar hunting techniques. Both would silently stalk their prey, then pounce when the time is right. Foxes also walk on their toes like cats and have sensitive whiskers and spines on their tongue. The gray fox even has semi-retractable claws that allow it to climb trees. It also sleeps on trees too. 3. Foxes uses Earth's magnetic field for hunting. Birds, turtles, and sharks use the Earth's magnetic field for migration, but the fox has adapted it for hunting. When hunting prey hiding underground, foxes can see the magnetic field as a ring of shadow in their eyes when moving north. They use their acute hearing to follow the prey. When the shadow and the sound lines up, they pounce, and 78% of the time, they make a kill. 4. Foxes are solitary animals. Jackals and wolves are well known to be social animals and move in groups. Foxes differ, living solitary lives. They hunt and sleep alone, marking a wide territory as theirs, and would fight with other foxes that intrude. Remarkably, they can live in groups too. When they are raising their kits, foxes would live in small families underground. These families are referred to as a leash of foxes or a skulk of foxes. 5. Arctic foxes can tolerate temperatures reaching -70 degrees Celsius. Humans begin to feel cold when the temperature drops below 25 degrees Celsius. In comparison, Arctic foxes would only shiver when the temperature reaches -70 degrees Celsius. This makes them one of the most cold-resistant animals on the planet. Their thick white fur insulates them and also provides camouflage in the snow. 6. The smallest fox weighs 3 pounds. Living in arid regions, the fennec fox has evolved into one of the most skilled hunters in its environment. It has elongated ears that repel heat, and dense fur on its sole which lets it walk on hot sand. It is the smallest fox and weighs less than a human infant. Its small size helps it survive in the North African deserts that it calls home, requiring less food than a red fox, and having less body heat than an Arctic fox. 7. Switzerland tricked foxes into vaccinating themselves. How can the most cunning animal in folklore be tricked? Through their undying love for chicken. In the 1960s, the fox population in Switzerland fell under a rabies epidemic. Humans can contract rabies if bitten, and the disease is often fatal. Thus, The epidemic needed to be gotten rid of quickly. The solution was to administer vaccine doses to the foxes by hand, but this was difficult and expensive. The government solved the problem by dropping 52,000 chicken heads by the countryside for foxes to eat. 8. Tame foxes behave like dogs. A Soviet geneticist named Dmitry Belyaev experimented in 1959 and showed that the tamer a fox gets, the more it behaves like dogs. Belyaev selectively bred 10 silver foxes that showed the least aggression towards humans. Within 10 generations, the foxes began to behave more like dogs than foxes. They would bark, wag their tails, and lick hands. They also develop white spots on their coats and floppy ears. 9. Foxes are very playful creatures. Foxes are known to steal golf balls from golf courses to play with them. These animals are fond of playing with other animals such as deer. Being friendly and curious, they detest small cages in which they are often kept in fur farms. Fur farming affects them both physically and psychologically. Countries like the UK and Hungary have banned fur farming, and other countries are in the process of making anti-fur farming laws. Besides recreation, foxes playing is also a way of learning social hierarchy. 10. Charles Darwin discovered a fox species. Darwin's fox was discovered by Charles Darwin during his famous voyage on the Beagle. He found the gray fox on the island of Chiloé. Due to habitat loss and rabid dogs, Darwin's foxes are now critically endangered. They can be found only on the island of Chiloé and in a national park in Chile. There is so much that amazes when it comes to foxes. There are 12 species in the world and each has its unique capabilities. If you enjoyed this video and found it informative, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And I'm sure you're going to enjoy this next video on 10 facts about ducks.